Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of the Sir Alex Ferguson Challenge with West Ham. Now in today's episode we've got a game against Wolverhampton Wanderers, who I think are in 7th position in the Premier League. We are fast approaching them though. We have had a good run of form recently, avoiding defeats here and there and getting wins against teams we should. So let's have a look at the schedule. So when we last met, it was a 2-0 victory against Cardiff City in the Premier League. We followed that up, absolutely thumping Fulham 5-0. We start off with our first goal. Manuel Lanzini in the 5th minute. Aaron Creswell gets a decent cross in. It bobbles about in the box, but Lanzini manages to put it away. Felipe Anderson gets our second goal in the 28th minute, and this first half really was it was super comfortable. Fulham didn't really offer anything going forward. Their defence was pretty much a shambles. Now Fulham aren't a bad side in this league, I don't think. I believe they were in top half when we played them, whereas we were like 15th or 16th. But in this game we absolutely trounced them. As you can see here, Javier Hernandez getting another 2 goals in a game. If it wasn't for the fact he was on £140,000 a week, I would be absolutely buzzing with that. But I do see him moving in the summer if an offer comes in. We then had a fourth round FA Cup replay against Bristol City, and we won this one 1-0. Arthur Masuaku getting a goal in the 54th minute, securing our place in the 5th round of the FA Cup. We then played Everton at home and won 3-1. They took an early lead actually in the 2nd minute through Sanctossen. Is that how you say his name? I'm not sure. But we did bounce back in the first half, getting 3 quite quick goals. I think it was within a 20-minute period or so. We took the 3-1 lead. Lanzini was the one getting the first. Felipe Anderson nodding in there for the second. And again, Javier Hernandez getting himself another goal to secure the 3-1 victory against Everton. In the FA Cup 5th round, we had a bore 0-0 draw. We had Pedro Obiang sent off in the 12th minute, so he was struggling a lot this game, as you can see by the match stats. But they eventually levelled the players, with Charlie Taylor getting sent off later on. So that meant we could take them back to our ground and see what we could do. We then had a 2-2 draw away against Chelsea. So they opened the scoring through Jorginho, a corner that came in that bobbles about in the box. But we do equalise through Lanzini in the 40th minute. And we take the lead through Mark Noble just before half-time. Now this game, it really speaks to our quality. You know, Chelsea did not dominate us by any stretch of the imagination. You know, we were well and truly worth our point. And as you can see by the match stats here, if I scroll down a little, their keeper got sent off in the 89th minute. And have a guess who went in goal. It was Eden Hazard. Eden Hazard ended up going in goal. You know, they've got these big lads in the defence, but they decided to put in 5'8" Eden Hazard. Unfortunately, it was the 89th minute, so we couldn't capitalise on that. But I just thought that was a funny decision by their manager. We did beat Burnley in the return leg in the FA Cup 5th round. 2 goals from Chicharito and 1 goal from Jack Wilshere secured the 3-0 lead by the 55th minute. But then Chris Wood and Safi Ataida made it very, very nervous in the final 10 minutes. But we managed to hold on and we're through to the next round. And in the final game before this Wolves game, we played Tottenham Hotspur away from home and picked up another point away from home against a team who really should be beating us. You can see by the stats here, they did dominate the match, but they created no chances. They really didn't create anything going forward. They couldn't get the ball to Harry Kane enough. As you can see, all their attacking players had really poor games, whereas the defenders had good games. Pretty similar situation with us, you know. Javier Hernandez and Lucas having poor games. Lanzini has been a revelation since he's come back from injury. He's averaging a 7.63 goals, 1 assist in 6 games since he's returned, and he's been fantastic. Ignore the trading arrows. Hopefully he'll start to bounce back from his injury. But yeah, he's been great since he's come back. A couple of other bits and pieces to tell you about. Ryan Fredericks did leave in the January transfer window right at the back end. Watford came in with his value 6.75, and I was happy to take that. He performed incredibly poorly when we gave him the opportunities, despite these half-decent stats. So to be honest with you, I was happy to get rid of him. And one final thing, we did have our youth intake come in, and there was one person who really stood out. Craig Davies, a goalkeeper. Look at that. As soon as Timo Horn gets into his late 20s, this guy should be ready to move up into the first team, and I'm going to chuck him in as soon as possible. There was one more, Kennedy Jamor, a left winger. Really good potential, 2-star current ability. We'll see how he fares in terms of getting him game time out on loan. But 2 young English lads coming in from the youth intake that would very well make the first team is really pleasing, especially for a Premier League team. It doesn't happen that often. So for today's game against Wolves, we're going to start with Timo Horn in goal, Wagner Mann as our right back, Reece Oxford and Issa Diop as our centre-backs and Aaron Creswell as our left-back. Ever since we've formed this back four, our defence has really improved. The only question mark I've got is Issa Diop. His potential has been downgraded, so this might be pretty much as good as he gets. He'll improve a little bit, but not by that much. So maybe in the summer, if I could find someone who's 3-star current, 5-star potential at a similar age, I might make the move. But in the midfield, we're going to start with Pedro Obiang and Declan Rice in midfield. Pedro Obiang has done okay when he's given game time. I haven't given him enough game time, and Mark Noble isn't exactly absolutely dominating when he plays, so I'm going to give Obiang the game today. Yarmolenko will of course start on the right, Lanzini in the centre and Felipe Anderson on the left. These three guys have been absolutely crazy since I've come in. I would like some more from Andrei Yarmolenko. I think his average rating's been really hampered because he was injured for a good period, so we'll see how that goes. And then Arnautovic is back from his injury, so he is going to be starting up top. Angelo Ogbonna, Zabaleta, Masuaku, Mark Noble, Jack Wilshere, Nolito and Lucas will be starting on the bench. So they're playing the, whatever you call this, the 5-2-3, the 3-2-2-2-1, whatever you call it. They played the same thing in FM18, and it was a similar tactic I used in my Sunderland save, if any of you have watched that. So we kick off against Wolves at home. I'm expecting a win here. Wolves are a good side in this league, and they do. Let's get the league table up somewhere so I can have a look. They are currently in 7th position, but you're only 7 points clear of us, and we do have a game in hand. That's the sort of position I would love for us to finish in. You know, we're taking over in 19th in November, and if we can manage to get anywhere near that 7th position, it will be an absolutely fantastic turnaround. Lanzini with a free kick on the edge of the box. Declan Rice there. He gets his head on it and he gets his goal. First goal of the season for Declan Rice. I love this guy. I think he's an absolutely fantastic player. He doesn't have the potential that Reece Oxford does, but when he plays, he always puts in a performance. Lanzini with the assist here. Excellent free kick. Good header by Rice. Fortunate to get over the line, but I'm glad it did. 1-0. Now, the pack in mid-table is so tight, even with that win, we don't really move too far up the table. But we are closing the gap on Wolves in 7th. Chelsea in 6th is obviously just too far away. They are 12 points clear of us currently. But if things can stay as they are, I'll be really pleased. So that's it, half-time. I did spot Lanzini has picked up a knock, so I'm going to get Jack Wilshere on in his place. Wilshere's been a bit unfortunate, I think, with the change of formation and Lanzini coming back and performing so well. He has seen his game time limited, but I'll try and give him as much as possible. He is a good player, and he's performed okay when he's played, particularly in the attacking midfielder role, not so much in the central midfield role. Wolves with the corner here. Dendonka gets his head on it, completely unmarked there. I really do. I did have a look at my corner instructions for defending set pieces. And I did set more people to man mark rather than zonal marking, but it doesn't seem to be working, so it's something I'm going to have to trial and error with. Cresswell with a throw in deep in Wolves' half. Can he get the ball into the box? He finds Obiang. Wilshere's on the edge. Take the strike zone, and Wilshere puts it away. He comes on in attacking midfield, and he does prove the difference. The problem with Wilshere and Lanzini, to be honest with you, they're both quite injury prone. I haven't checked the reports. I'm not sure if that's fact in the game, but they definitely appear to be. But this was a well-worked goal. Creswell and Obiang doing some good work on the left-hand side, and Wilshere with a decent finish, beating their keeper, making it 2-0. Cresswell with the corner, 68 minutes in. Diop's going to win that. It's gone well wide. On the back of that, we're going to make some substitutions. We'll get Declan Rice off for Mark Noble, and we'll save our final one till the last 10 minutes, just in case of injuries. 82 minutes in, we'll make our final change. Jack Wilshere's picked up a knock. As I'm saying, Wilshere and Lanzini are definitely, if they're not classed as injury prone, they're on the verge of it being. Final highlight of the game, Nolito gets the corner in. It is cleared by the Wolverhampton Wanderers defence. Just blow the whistle, ref. We've all got stuff to do. We're all ready to go. And there it is, full time. Wolves 0, West Ham 2. Fantastic result. Wolves obviously battling for European qualification. They do have a really good squad in FM19 if you're looking to pick up someone up. Lanzini injured for 6 days. Jack Wilshere injured for 3 days. See, it's never anything critical. They're always generally back for the next game, but it is constant. They're always picking up a knock during games. But that is 6 matches now without losing, which is obviously fantastic. We'll have a look, see who's performed well this season. Wagnerman, since he's come in at right back, has been fantastic. Creswell as well, left back, fantastic. Lanzini performing really well. Javier Hernandez performing well. And Arnautovic has been a bit quiet since he's returned. He's only been back a few games, so I'll not judge him too quickly. But maybe his position is on the wings, so maybe Yarmolenko's position could be threatened by Arnautovic and get Javier Hernandez back in the starting lineup, who seems to play better than Arnautovic there. Well, that's going to be it from me. If you have enjoyed today's video, please consider leaving a like and get yourself subscribed if you're enjoying the FM19 content. But until next time, take it easy.